Today I'm going to show you how I built a fence for the bandsaw I finished building a few days ago. This locking system will allow me to set it down and lock it to the table easily. It's a very simple system, but I think it'll work. By tightening the knob, this part will bend and become thicker, locking the fence to the bandsaw table. Building it is quite easy. First, I'll cut all the pieces to size with a table saw. I mark the position of all the screws and use the column drill to drill holes. I'm going to use a countersink drill bit to avoid warping the wood when putting the wood screws in. Using a round file, I'll make this hole bigger in one direction so that I can adjust the fence once it's been placed on the bandsaw table. Now I screw together the two parts that make up the fence's L-shaped body. I'll attach some reinforcements in the rear. First, I cut them with a bandsaw and screw them to the fence on both sides. I'm going to machine the locking system. I glue these two parts together. Once the glue is dry, I use the bandsaw to cut a rebate that will allow me to bend the other part and tighten the fence. I mark the position of its hole with a bit and finish drilling the hole with a bit 0.5 mm smaller than the screw I'm going to use. I also bore a hole for the handle screw. Now I drill and countersink the thinnest piece, which will bend. I set up the system and check how far the part bends when tightening and loosening the screw. It's not a whole lot, barely a millimeter. That'll be plenty to lock the fence, but we'll have to be very precise when cutting and machining all the parts. Now I'll cut the piece that goes in the slot in the bandsaw table. I'll use this piece of HPL board, although any other kind of hardwood or a material with a similar density could work as well. After checking the measurements are correct, I mark the position of its screws. I drill the holes with a bit 1 mm smaller than the screw I'll be using and thread them using a tap. To finish this video, I'm going to make the tightening handle with plywood scraps. After gluing the printable template in, I cut with a bandsaw. I make a hole in the center and place the threaded insert. This part will act as a buffer, making the handle more comfortable. I place the handle in its place and try the fence out. It works very well. I'm surprised by how sturdy the fence is, even in its other end, which is where they usually fail. I'm going to check if the fence is properly aligned with the bandsaw blade. I've made a line on a piece of plywood that's parallel to one of its edges. I cut freehand along the line until the halfway point. I fastened the piece onto the table with clamps, being careful not to move it. Now I move the fence closer to the edge of the piece so that there's a certain imbalance. I loosen the adjustment screw and turn the fence until it's parallel to the edge of the piece. Finally, I tighten the adjustment screw once more. That's all for today. In a few days I'll upload another video showing you how I built the crosscut slat for the bandsaw. See you soon!